G'day everybody, Duckville here. How are we all doing? Hope we're all good. We are into season number 6 of StarCraft 2 ladder. We hope we're all going nicely. It has been a few days, and in fact the day that I have actually recorded this is the day that the 1.4.3 patch has come out. So this actual game that we're looking at today will not be affected by that. In fact, it's a PvP, so it wouldn't really have any effect on that anyway. But yeah, this is going to be a PvP between one of our little PvP specialists who sent in a few replays. We did see a long PvP from him previously on Shakuris. It is his name now has changed over to aiRXujhan. So I'm not sure if he's changed teams or something like that, but he's got a slightly different team name at the front there. His opponent on the opposite side of Core Compound will be MysticFiend, who's got he's got the alternating caps there, like all the cool kids do. It's like you're having a stroke when you're reading it. Yeah, they're going to be fighting it out here. This game, this map, sorry. Is very big for proxy gates. I've found on the Korean server. If anyone else is playing over there, I've seemed to have had like 4 in a row where I've had to deal with proxy gates. So one thing to consider, of course, there is this larger fogged area up the top, which is important to keep in mind. And Kushwan actually just scouting out here to make sure he can see if there is anything fishy going on. There is also this lower section here, which is also slightly fogged off. There's not as much room. You can get some things on the corner. One of the big ones I've seen is actually just a pylon down here. Very simple sort of thing. Just a pylon down here, put a gate up here and another one, just sort of something around like that. I don't remember. I don't really do. I don't 2-gate cheese. I do different types of cheese with cannons. As if anyone who's jumped on my channel and watched the stream, that's how I roll with some crazy cannon cheese. Anyway. Kushwan is going to be starting out here with just a standard sort of gate and cyber affair. He's going to be getting that up in standard time. We don't have any second gas just as of yet, but he's just scouting out what his opponent is up to, and he does have the second gas very quickly there. So a little bit surprising to see it that fast, but both of these guys are going to be getting their gas up. As we can see, Kushwan just actually finding out that the gas is there, and that's going to signal. It's sort of at this stage in PvP where after the recent, or not recent, but the sort of semi-recent 4-gate nerfs where we had the warp gate time changed and all that sort of stuff just to try and stop ridiculous amounts of 4-gates going on, we sort of come to this stage where in a PvP you can put down your assimilator and sort of say, alright, I'm going to put this down. Are we all cool? You know, is this sort of like a 15-minute rush, 15-minute no rush sort of situation if you put your second assimilator down? And you know, it's that weird sort of feeling when you put it down, because you're like, alright, this guy could still 4-gate me, and I could be slightly further behind because I've spent some money on the assimilator. But there are ways to deal with that, and we're obviously going to find out how Kushwan deals with that. He does have a Zealot and a Stalker about to come through. He's just chronoed out that Stalker quite a lot. In fact, he's going to get a second one as well, perhaps going to put on a tiny bit of pressure. I've actually found that this can be a little bit discerning for players when they actually find out that there is a Zealot and a Stalker at their front ramp, so there can be things that can go on with that. It looks as if MysticFiend is going to be getting a Stargate up. In fact, both of these players are going to go for the Stargate tech, which one just putting it in that nice little spot just over on the corner. However, I'm not 100% sure about that spot, because if his opponent was going for Blink Stalkers, he could blink up and take care of that cyber quick smart. So just got to be a little bit worried about that sort of thing. I think it's one thing just to take into consideration. You don't have to absolutely destroy your SimCity or anything by placing it in a certain position, but it's something to consider if your opponent does pick up the blink tech. So we'll find out what exactly, how exactly, sorry, these guys are going to play their Stargate tech. It looks as if we are just going to get Chronos out from MysticFiend on the Phoenix, and looks as if Kushwan is just going to slowly get out his own Phoenix. He's going to be one behind perhaps in the short term, but it's not too much of a worry. He can put some extra Chronos on the Stargate to make sure he's okay. He does have 2 Stalkers, a Sentry and a Zealot. A second gate also now popping up. Did we have a third? No, we didn't have a third gate just yet. There is going to be a robo though, just to make sure any sorts of DT tech is detected and thwarted before it gets inside. Looks as if Mystic's version of countering any possible DT tech is to have some zealots on the ramp that are on hold position, and they will be able to easily deal with any DTs that try and come up, and in fact actually dealing with the probe that tried to get through. So he's going to be alright for the moment. Both of these guys with their Phoenix tech is just about to pop out. aiRXujhan about to push across with his own 2 Phoenix, so you can scout out with 2, but you won't get really too much damage done, and especially now that Mystic actually has 3 already out, he will be able to take some shots. He does not get too much damage done, was not really watching that too much, I don't think. So both these guys are going to catch up in their Phoenix count in just a moment. It looks as if MysticFiend is going to continue production, I should say. Production, that's a cool word. He's going to continue production on the Phoenix and just make sure he can get as many of them out as possible. It's a little bit of a sort of, it's still this sort of like, despite the feeling that some people are sort of past Phoenix and you know, it's a build that's already been figured out as in how to counter it, I still think there are different ways to actually play it, and we'll find out how aiRXujhan is going to deal with that here. He does have his Nexus up straight away. Now, the reasoning for that, of course, is because if you can see that your opponent is also going Phoenix, and you have a few of your own Phoenix out, at least to try and counter them, you should be fine to deal with anything on the ground that may come out. Now, just looking at the unit counts for these guys, we've got Mystic sitting on 4 Zealots, 3 Stalkers on the ground, to aiRXujhan's total of, he's got 2 Stalkers of his own, he's got 3 Zealots and 2 Sentries, so he's a little bit better off in terms of the protection on the ground, and he should be fine to get this expansion up. So it's going to come down to the fact that that Mystic will be a tiny bit behind in his expansion, and a great little hit there taking out one of the Phoenix of Mystic, but he is going to get a couple more out, and the count of Phoenix is going to be relatively even for now, although aiRXujhan is slowly pulling ahead. After getting that kill, he's going to have 7 out in just a moment, and Mystic is going to be a little bit further behind. A cannon now going down in the mineral line of aiRXujhan just to make sure that he's got some basic protection. We did mention in the previous game that we saw from aiRXujhan that it's not guaranteed protection against any sorts of Phoenix flybys with their graviton beam to try and kill some of your probes. It's not a perfect protection against that, but it is a way to sort of deflect the attack if they do try and come through. At least you'll get a little bit of damage done. So that's a good thing to always have at least 1 cannon in the mineral line. So that's good to see that there. The supply is looking relatively even for the moment. aiRXujhan just slightly ahead at the moment. That's mainly because he does actually have a few more probes. We've got Mystic sitting on only 22 probes. He's cut probes ages ago, so it looks like he is going to try and go for a 1 base all-in. He's got an Immortal coming out, and that is going to join the one that is already on the field. The workers for aiRXujhan sitting at 38, so his harvesting is going to be absolutely fantastic. As we can see, he's up to almost 1,000 mineral income, so that's going to be quite nice for him. A couple of more cannons going to be going up here. I think aiRXujhan has detected this could be a 1 base all-in coming in, so he's going to make sure that he has some extra photon cannon defense. We've got a total of Phoenix up here, and I don't know what that beeping was about, but we're doing some clicking and some crazy beeping going on. But we can see that aiRXujhan getting some real good defense here. We're going to have a total of 5 cannons up for him. He's really making sure that he's protected against what's coming. He's probably going to cut probes right about now, I'd say, and needs to get a couple more gates perhaps as well. But he is focusing on those Phoenix. So here comes this big 1 baser from Mystic. He's getting a proxy pylon out to make sure he can reinforce. The Phoenix in the air are going to be able to give him a little bit of vision up onto the high ground. As we can see, he does have a tiny bit of vision up to the top there. But it's not really too much that he can work with. The Phoenix will be able to cover for aiRXujhan in that situation as well. The gate count currently sitting at 3 for Mystic, so he's not actually going too hardcore with this push. Sort of a little bit surprised he didn't put down at least 1 extra gate, but here we go. It does look like he's about to push in. Not sure why. The Stalkers are at the front. They're going to try and get some hits on the Phoenix, and the Phoenix doing their air dance, and there will be a little bit of a trade there. Some damage going on the Phoenix of Mystic, and Kushwan losing just one of his, I think, but the count is still sitting very high for Kushwan there, 10-9, so he's actually sitting quite nicely, in fact 11-9 now, and I'm not sure what Mystic is going to do now. He's currently sitting in a very ugly situation. His opponent has 2 bases with fantastic mining to his 1 base with very little mining. Is still sitting on 22 probes, and the cannon count just increasing here for Kushwan, taking it up to 8 cannons. There is no way that Mystic is going to try and bust through here. He's going to have to deal with the cannons, the force fields from the sentries, not to mention the Phoenix up in the sky providing some defense. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that you can lift up the Immortals. Now, perhaps something for Mystic is that he's thinking he may be able to get some good Immortal shots on the pylon, perhaps, or perhaps even the cannons themselves. But it's not going to happen. Kushwan is not going to let that happen. He's going to be able to Graviton beam the Immortals up. Could even kill the Immortals straight up with the Phoenix as well if they can all fire at the same time. Speaking of which, double Stargate is now out for Kushwan as well, so he is really going to kick up that Phoenix count. +1 to air weapons, almost complete as well, and an extra Phoenix just scouting out to find out what exactly is going on. He's going to come through here, and here he comes just off to the side, just doing that little drive-by there, is just poking in, sees that the Nexus is attempting to go up for Mystic, and that is just not going to be enough to save his bacon here. We'll find out how Kushwan is going to finish off this game. I don't think there is any way he's going to be able to lose this, but here we go. It looks as if we may have, this could be an attempted drop here from Mystic. He does have a couple of Zealots, in fact it's a few Stalkers and a Zealot inside the Prism. Kushwan not able to get any vision on that. We'll see how this drop is going to go. I think that Mystic wants to try and get inside with as many of these units as he can. If he can get inside, he's going to obviously bypass the cannons, and that's going to be quite nice for him. This could, in fact, turn into a base trade situation. The Phoenix of Kushwan are way across the map. He's sitting on a huge total of them too, sitting on 20 in total. And here come the units of Mystic. There is no vision on this. This is a very good location to drop for Mystic, so he is going to get inside and start doing some damage here. That should have been seen by Kushwan, and he is. Yes, he is. He's marching inside. We've only got a few Zealots and a bunch of sentries there for him. He's going to need to try and force field out some of these units. I don't think that's the ground battle is going to go too well here for Kushwan. Meanwhile, back inside his opponent's base, he was getting a little bit of damage done. I think he should just effectively just trade here. He's going to say, look, you can take down some of my buildings. That's going to be all quite fine and dandy. He does have the cannons protecting this side of the natural here, and the probes are just going to get absolutely massacred. And there they go. The probe count sitting at 4 to 44. So despite the fact that Kushwan is going to lose some of his tech here, perhaps he may lose, he's going to lose definitely this Stargate at least, but he's not going to lose the game because the probes have been all but removed from the game. For Mystic, the Cyber goes down. Not good at all for Kushwan. He's not going to be able to make any more Zealots, sorry, not Zealots, the Stalkers or Sentries, but that's not going to matter to him at all. With a few of these Zealots on the ground, the Phoenix up in the air, being able to lift up almost every single thing here, he should be okay. Coming in to downsize the army, they're getting rid of some of the Phoenix. The War Prism's still alive, although the problem for Mystic is that he actually has no units to actually warp in, given that he's lost all of his minerals there. Almost no minerals to work with. The Prism goes down, the Phoenix go down, and the Phoenix of Kushwan can now just go to town on every single thing that is on the ground, and they do that, and in a quite magnificent style, cleaning up everything on the ground, and that is going to be it for this game. Brilliant stuff there from Kushwan to do a nice little trade with the Phoenix at the end there, and just recognizing that his opponent was going for that one base, slapping down a lot of cannons here to make sure he was protected, and just making sure that even if he was going to lose some of this tech and some of the buildings inside the main, he cleaned out every single probe, or almost every single probe. We can see a couple of them still here, and that is more than worth the trade. So great job there by Mr. aiRXujhan there, doing a great job with Phoenix as usual. If you want to see more of him, you can jump onto, I believe he has an account on Team Liquid, I can't actually remember, but he's also on Reddit as well in the r/StarCraft_strategy section, commenting in some of those Protoss sections, which is really good to see. Make sure you jump on there if you do want some tips for your StarCraft strategy. It's a really great section, and I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.